Okay, let us examine these questions which talk about the adaptations of this animal, which is called a lungfish. In order for students to appreciate these questions, I'm showing them a short YouTube video clip of how this lungfish in the wild uses its adaptations for it to survive the harsh conditions of the desert. So do stay in tune with this video here as being shown. Okay, can you see the video, everyone?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to play it now.
Lungfish are an ancient fish that can be found in Africa, South America, and Australia. They live in the murky margins of swamps and rivers. But sometimes, water can dry up during droughts. Lungfish have found a way around this fundamental problem. Their strange solution has enabled them to survive for more than 300 million years.
Okay, just a pause. They say this 300 million years is not true. Because these people who say that the earth is millions of years ago, they do not believe that God existed. So they bring God out of the equation. According to my personal research, right, the earth is only about 7,000 years old. So when you hear about millions of years ago, these facts, also called these facts, are not true. So let's continue the video.
When their watery home vanishes, lungfish can turn to breathing air, like a mammal. Droughts can last for years on end. So the lungfish digs down in mud to create a burrow, where it coats itself in mucus, which dries to a leathery body bag, protecting it from total dehydration. The lungfish then shuts its system down and waits. It can survive for years, if that's what it takes.
So actually, if you see here, the lungfish actually is part of the building material here.
If that's what it takes.
Inside.
The lake and the fish may be long forgotten, but the lungfish will still be there. Its metabolic rate drops by 60%. What little energy it does need comes from slowly consuming its own muscles. It effectively eats itself to survive. When the drought-breaking deluge finally comes, the lungfish awakens from its dormant state, reanimated and ready to roll.
So it's sliding out because it sends the rainwater coming. The rainwater sort of like dissolves the mucus.
On an evolutionary scale, this problem solving was a game changer.
So this video actually helps you to appreciate the lungfish. In the question it says it breathes through lungs instead of gills. So this part I'm not quite certain whether it really have a lungs or not. But this fish is able to keep itself alive throughout the dry season. So in the question, right, look at the question here. It says, state 2 physical factors of the environment which affect the survival. So just now when you notice in this question, right, they said it's a hot and dry season. So hot and dry means the lack of water, right? Correct? And then also, secondly, it covers itself in a pool of mucus. So it can secrete the mucus surrounding it like a cocoon. So this mucus, you can see underground, right, is actually surrounding this. Like in the video, right, just now we saw. In the video, this part, let's scroll down there. This part.
mucus,
It's coating
which
the mucus
dries
around
to a
itself.
leathery body bag, protecting it from total dehydration.
Okay, for protecting from total dehydration. So this part is actually the mucus is supplying the water. Okay, therefore the two physical factors are the presence of air in the surrounding and also the presence of water. So these two factors affect the survival of this animal. Okay, so let's continue. So state how the following structural and behavioral adaptations help the animal. So as I told you, right, the streamlined body of this animal, streamlined because it's a body shape. Okay, streamlined body. Okay, it's a streamlined body. So you're supposed to state how this streamlined body helps this animal to survive. Because you see, it's streamlined, right? It can actually burrow down through the soft mud easier, right? So you can answer by saying the streamlined body reduces friction between its body and the mud, so it can burrow itself easily or easily itself through the soft mud. So this is one mark. The second one is for behavior. Okay, the behavior is this part you try to answer. How its body covered in a pool of mucus helps it to survive. Okay, so this mucus actually provides the water, right? So for this answer you should say it helps the animal to obtain water and air, because fish breathe to air, right? Dissolve air in order to stay alive. Stay alive in the burrow. Okay, let me enlarge this and help you and put it in maybe black color, easy to see. So this is a behavior. It secretes the mucus, and on top the one, the body shape is structural adaptation. So this is how in examination you need to differentiate between structural adaptations and behavioral. So this is a very good example. Okay. Okay, let's move on to part C. Okay, part C, you are to explain how the change in activity level of animal M, which is this animal here, the lungfish, during the hot, dry season affect its breathing rate. Okay, if you remember in primary 5, you learn about respiratory system, right? So if an organism is very active, they need more oxygen. So if they need more oxygen, means breathing rate increase. Conversely, if the organism is not doing much work, as in this case, right, because it's like in a hibernating state. So for this one, you mentioned that as the activity of animal M slows down during this season, it does not carry out, right, any vigorous activity. So it needs less oxygen, therefore the rate of breathing decreases. Because you need to explain. So you must say that during the hot, dry season, animal M does not carry out any vigorous activity. Okay, so in G's you say, during the hot and dry season, M does not carry out vigorous activity, so it needs less oxygen. Okay. Therefore, the rate of breathing rate of breathing decreases. rate of breathing decreases. Okay, this part. So you think of this. So there's a cause and effect. Clear this one? So you must mention number one.
Can you see the breathing rate decreases?
Yeah, lah, breathing rate decreases, correct, right? Or because, okay, you try to use the same term, because in the question they say rate of breathing. You say breathing rate, is it? Yeah, breathing rate is okay, yeah. As long as there's the word, there's a rate there. Okay.
Okay.
Rate of breathing or breathing rate decreases. Okay, but you must tell me why, because it needs less oxygen. Therefore, the rate of breathing rate decreases. So this is necessary, this part. Why need less oxygen? Because does not carry out vigorous activity. So it's related, like this causes this, and because of this is this one. So there's a cause and effect. Okay, so I've gone through these questions on the adaptations of this lungfish once again.